Hoarded doors, empty stores. This dated strip mall has it all, except for what people want. But why does it look like this? It doesn't always used to look like this way, and what does the city plan to do about it? Welcome. My name is Jeremy Cortez, and this is an economic case study on the Corona Mall Revitalization Project. While the Corona Mall may look like this now, it didn't always used to be this way. This used to be the happiest place in town back in the 70s. People would come down to the hair salon, enjoy a nice meal, and talk to the people in their community. The reason why it looks like this today is not a unique one, but it's still important to the history of this place nonetheless. While the mall was successful at first, it ran into issues years later. The first issue was the opening of the Gallery at Tyler, also known as the Tyler Mall. When teens decided they wanted to do some shopping, they'd much rather go to an indoor mall with air conditioning than an outdoor mall. So more people began to shop at the Galleria Mall than the Corona Mall. Another issue was the proliferation of large department stores and supermarkets. Why would you go to a small store with little selection when you could go to a large department store? At the time, this would have been stores like Zodi's, Gemco, and Treasury. Even those stores were eventually replaced by stores like Target and Kohl's. The final nail in the coffin was the unsuccessful remodel in the 80s. Its failure led to the mall being opened up to offices, which further decreased the number of reasons customers had to visit the mall, which eventually led it into the state it is in today. The Corona City government has been wanting to do something to bring businesses back to the mall. However, progress is dampened because of the 2008 recession. Governor Jerry Brown proposed to get rid of the state-subsidized redevelopment agencies in an effort to balance the state budget. While the agencies themselves have a controversial public opinion due to the debated effectiveness, it still nonetheless had an effect on the progress of the mall. Later in 2015, a group of young Corona staff members presented their plan to revitalize the Corona downtown area. As part of their plan, they would remodel the Corona Mall to bring both people and businesses back to the area. The remodel is part of a larger plan to make a more defined downtown in Corona. This sets the stage for the current Corona Mall Revitalization Project. See, when the redevelopment agencies did exist, they acquired roughly half of all the condominiums in the area between 2008 and 2011. They did so with the hope of entering a public and private partnership with the developer. The plan was set into motion when they entered a disposition and development agreement with Lab Holdings on May 12, 2017. As part of the agreement, the property that the redevelopment agency owned was sold to Lab Holdings for $1.9 million with the restriction that they must develop the property in a way that the city approves. In 2018, Lab Holdings presented their plan for the Corona Mall Revitalization Project, tentatively known as the Union Project. They have a 4-stage plan. The first part of the plan is to renovate the south portion of the mall, in which they plan to build additional buildings in a portion of the parking lot, along with the brewery and exterior renovations of the existing buildings. The second part is to renovate this north portion of the mall, which is a bit more ambitious because they plan to include a canopy that goes over the main hallway of the mall. They also plan on including a culinary hub similar to that seen in the Food Lab in Riverside. The plan also includes exterior renovations. Parts 3 and 4 work on making a more defined downtown in the Corona Circle. Looking at the map, you can roughly see what parts 1, 2, and 3 will cover based off the highlighted areas. Now keep in mind that this doesn't take into account the areas that Lab Holding doesn't own. But as you can see, this is a large project that will take many years to complete. The city is confident in their partnership with Lab Holding because of their track record. Lab Holdings has worked on a few other redevelopment projects in the past. They worked on the Lab Anti-Mall and the camp in Costa Mesa, and more notably, where I am right now, the Anaheim Packing House. The Anaheim Packing House is roughly what the Corona government is looking to accomplish with the Corona Mall. Looking at Lab Holdings' reference photos, sketches, and renders, you get an idea for what kind of vibe they are aiming for with the Corona Mall. They are going to have a mix of indoor and outdoor areas with a white exterior, high arches, and a mix of greenery to bring in some color. I, for one, am looking forward to the greenhouse canopy that they're planning along the main hallway in the mall. This sounds great, but what does the public think of it? So far, reception for the project has been positive. Although they remain independently owned, the Honey's owner, Lino Lorenko, has been excited about the project. He sees this project as being both good for the people and the city. The Corona Historic Preservation Society is a bit concerned about how the mall will affect nearby historical buildings. There is also some concern about how this mall will affect the nearby church. To address this, the Corona government occasionally holds public sessions to listen to and address any concerns the public may have. So where is the project today? While the project was delayed due to COVID because of skittish investors, the first phase is now underway. They recently got the approval and permits needed for the brewery and the Starbucks, because every corner needs a Starbucks. Lab holding was also required by the city to complete facade improvements by mid-December. It looks like it'll be at least another year or two before even the first phase is completed. So what impact will the completed mall have on the city? Well, the first and most obvious impact will be improved quality of life for the citizens, since now we won't have to drive out to Dos Lagos or Orange County in order to go somewhere. Another is that it will attract businesses back to the area, which will mean increased property value in the surrounding areas, which means a fat stack of cash for anyone who decides to sell their home, since we have residences nearby. A byproduct of raising property value in the area will mean decreased gang activity in 4th Street. While it isn't as bad as it was in the 80s or 70s, some incidents still do occur. It will also mean empty lots like this one more valuable for further development. Also, more businesses means more jobs, and to bring everything together, it means more tax revenue for the city. Everybody gets something, and this is a fantastic plan for everyone involved. I, for one, am excited for the makerspace that is a part of the Phase 2 plan. And with Corona's plans for the more defined downtown in the Corona Circle, life here will dramatically change for its residents. And who knows, it may end up looking more like Riverside one day. But, of course, that is if the project is successful.